Chris, how are we doing?
I'm doing fantastic today. Um, Not sure if I want to divulge why I'm doing fantastic today, but I am doing fantastic today. We'll discuss that later.
Hmm.
Let me
It
change my background.
just kicked me off my Facebook.
It's been doing that. It's kind of weird, if you ask me.
Yeah, it kicked me off of YouTube yesterday, but let me right back on.
Okay, I got my background fixed.
Alrighty, so all right. No, it kicked me off again.
It's showing us good now.
No, on mine is showing that it kicked it off again.
Huh? Yeah, on mine it's got a green check mark for you.
I'm going into it now. I don't know. It's working on No Mercy.
That's
Never
weird.
even started.
Now it just went off.
Hmm. That is weird. I'm gonna try it one more time because I don't have any warnings or anything, so it doesn't make any
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
weird.
we did just cross 1,000 followers today from when they took down the group 6 months ago.
Hmm.
We had close to 10,000. We had to start all over. 6 months later, we're back up to 1,000 followers. So I appreciate everybody for that. All righty. It's been really, really cool getting back to 1,000. Yeah, it's just not going to play on it tonight. Hmm.
That's
I'll
weird.
figure out what the problem is. I looked, I have no warnings, so I have no idea exactly why it's acting this way.
That is weird.
I'm gonna see if it'll let me post. Trying to see now. Well, at least I could share it from No Mercy.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. We'll be getting into the thick of things in just a second. I mean, I'm getting like 100 notifications off the page from all the recent
Yeah.
memes and all that. So, I mean, it's working. I don't know. Just an issue with live. I shared it from No Mercy so the audience gets to see it, and that's what's important. And James gets some exposure. We always share each other's stuff anyway. Try to help each other
Hmm.
out because that's what we do. With that being said, we do have 15 people watching, so thank you for that. Let's
Hmm.
get into it. Let's start with the top game. Chris.
Top game. I was absolutely stunned. That did not go the way I anticipated it to. Um, I was wrong on my pick. I thought one team had given up and quit on their coaches that were in place, and obviously they didn't. They played their butts off today.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. Not only did they play their butts off, man. They're a lot of these kids are still fighting for their scholarship next year. That's what a lot
Yeah.
of people don't understand. When you get regime changes like this, the new coach comes in and tells people to hit the portal. Well, a lot of these kids' dream was to play at Florida. So they're auditioning right now. A lot of people don't understand how that goes. A lot of these kids, like not all these kids are superstars and can go anywhere and get the money. Like this is a big opportunity for them. And if they're
Yeah.
dismissed, that's a big, big crush to their life.
Hmm.
So that I don't. That's why they didn't give up because they're at Florida and they want to stay there and they want the
Yeah.
next coach to be like, yeah, that person can do it. I watched it in action, and I think
Hmm.
that's what you saw tonight in this. Florida State players are, and Florida State already said they're keeping Mike Norvell. Nobody has to be nervous. We're going to take the L on the year, move on to next year. That's the attitude that Florida State has. We're playing for a bowl, but I mean, these Florida players are playing for their lives. I mean, Florida beat Florida State's ass today. I mean, beat their ass
handily. and if you look at it, Jaden Baugh, what a day he had. 38 carries, 266 yards, 2 touches. That he might have put the SEC on notice next year that if they get a decent coach in there, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of nice to see. You hate to see a program like Florida down the way they are.
I don't.
But I think it's their own undoing because they've been kind of lackluster in NIL. They've got way too many Chiefs in with control over that. They need to get it figured out, get a base going, and 1 or 2 people that have the purse strings, and that's it. That's what other teams in the SEC that are having good seasons have done. They've limited access to their NIL, and they're spending it purposefully. Florida's not done that yet.
Yeah, so if you can't get on the same accord, what you've got basically is a bunch of rich alumnus out there hand-picking players that they like to put on there. The problem with that is, when you build a team, you don't need the best player at every position. You need the best player to do what you need him to do in that position at that position. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, you don't understand football. That's why you see teams like Ohio State. I mean, yeah, they got a star or two, but you don't hear about most of them. Florida State's the best team. I mean, Ohio State's the best team in the country. I mean, and they're just out there doing work with just 1 or 2 stars because the right players are in the right place at the right time for the right scheme. So you don't always need the best player. Ohio State's a perfect indication of that. I don't know, man. Florida's going to be dangerous if they can make the right hire for sure. And, I saw a little chatter on X today about Urban Meyer was in Gainesville, and I was like, ain't no way. They didn't say he was linked to it, but they did say he was in Gainesville. That would be nasty for college football if Urban Meyer were to come back to Florida.
You can't let that guy come back.
You just can't. He's out there kicking people and shit. He kicked the kick. No, his career's over. I mean, he's not canceled. I mean, you could bring him back, but you think he's still got in him what he had before? Is the reward versus risk here?
I think it's too much of a risk for them to bring him back.
Yeah. Well, in this graphic, Chris, you went 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
But hell, Chris, because that was better than James's and I 1-4, which is the worst we've had. So, so you won the day. It's still me in the lead and you and James -7 going into conference championship week. So I did kind of take a big lead in the mid weeks there. I think between week 5 and week 11, I think I went 5-0 or 4-1 every single week. Mm-hmm. Just had a really good run there. But this week it came to a screeching halt because I was 1-4. Rivalry week is so hard, and we'll get into that. Texas beating Texas A&M all year long. Texas A&M looked like the best team in the country, but all year long Texas A&M did some head scratching shit against Arkansas and South Carolina.
Yep.
So you knew it was going to catch up with them sooner or later, and my mind told me to pick Texas in this game. I had Texas on the graphic till the last minute when I switched it because I know what Marcel Reed is. But I was right. They lived dangerously all year, and it bit them in the ass in the final game. But what that did, it worked big time into Texas A&M's advantage, which leads me into conspiracy theories, Vegas, and corrupt refs, and all this is true. So Texas A&M loses. They don't have to play a conference championship game, and they're going to the playoffs with a first-round bye.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lost on purpose, that was brilliant because they still get the first round bye. They still get to go to the playoffs, and they don't have to play an extra game where it can make them look bad or they can pick up injuries. It was beautifully brilliant.
I was confused for a second. Yeah, they do get a first round bye because the top 8 get a first round bye. You're
Yep.
right. Yep. That's
So,
interesting.
so
And
I mean,
wasn't it last year that every team that won a conference championship lost their first game?
yeah, I mean, so what we're looking at here is an Ohio State type play. Ohio State, yeah, we got to lose to Michigan and hear their mouth, but we avoid the Big Ten championship game. We go in with a first round bye,
Mm-hmm.
and they won the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Could we see Texas A&M do the same? Because this sure looks a lot like Ohio State from last year to me.
Very similar.
Lose to the rival, avoid a conference championship game, still get a first round bye. Texas A&M's dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous, I tell you. I could see them winning the national championship. This is a carbon copy of what Ohio State did last year, and it's brilliant, which brings me back to conspiracy theory. You lose to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Sometimes, and I get in arguments with people about this all the time. Sometimes a loss is a good thing.
Correct.
And people don't understand that. But let's take a team like Ohio State. 4 years ago when they played Georgia in the national championship game?
Yeah,
had Georgia, Ohio State was a better team, but had they taken a loss at some point along the way and showed them areas that they had to work on, I think it would have helped them in that Georgia game. Where if you don't take that loss, you don't know where your problem areas are.
So, well, I agree with you. I mean, you can take close wins sometime and learn the same thing because it makes you open your eyes, like Texas A&M and Arkansas that day.
Yeah.
But what you saw in that moment with Georgia, Ohio State, you saw a young Ryan Day growing.
Yes.
He got out coached in every facet of the game, and he didn't see it coming. That's a fact. He never saw that game plan coming. And that's what happened to his team in that game. You are absolutely correct. They were the better team, but he got out goofified. Like he got coached like a drum. But then you see what that did to him. He has now come back, and he is the best coach in college football. Him and Kirby Smart 1 and 2, however you want to mix it up. I mean, Ohio State might win another national championship this year. I certainly think they're the best team in the country right now. I do. I think they're the best team in the country in this moment. Ohio State. I would put Ohio State up against anybody. I would. That game.
I'm actually, a lot of people give me shit for this, but I'm actually looking at Georgia and Notre Dame might be the two best teams in the country. Notre Dame's won 10 straight games. And their defense is absolutely filthy. And I think their defense lines up very well with Ohio State.
So it's funny you say that because I love to do these. So while I don't disagree about Georgia, I think the 4 best teams in the country. I think if you see, sorry, that's an alarm to my wife's medicine, but she already took. If I had to guess right now who the Final 4 would be, assuming they were all in different brackets and they didn't meet up earlier, like if it just played out that way, I'm taking Ohio State. I'm taking Georgia. I'm taking Indiana. And I'm taking Alabama. I know Alabama's had a rough go, and right now in this current moment, the game is 2013 Alabama. But what they've done here is they squeaked this game out, let's say, and they go into the SEC championship game. All right, so they're in the playoffs, but this is where playing an extra game becomes a bonus that you don't get the other way, like Texas A&M did this year and Ohio State last year. You're going into a game, whether you win or lose, it does not matter. You are in the college football playoff. You are in the SEC championship game, win or lose, you're going to the college football playoff. That's just a fact. And with Alabama being 10-2, they're going to be in if they lose this game anyway. But this is an advantage. So you get to see a 5-star caliber opponent right in your face before you go into the playoffs. That is nothing but great preparation if you're a great team. That's what you want. So this is kind of win-win for Alabama too. When they get to play Georgia, 2 of the 4 best teams in the country, in my opinion, Chris, and they get to see each other before the playoffs. Like, you can't ask for better preparation. It's just not possible. There's 2 of the best 4 teams in the country.
See, I would have 3 of the same, and the only one I would have different, I'd have Notre Dame instead of Alabama.
I got Notre Dame at 5. But the reason I got Alabama, and a lot of people are like, oh, Alabama's not all that. I watched Alabama this year. And yeah, they took a few bumps here and there. But when Alabama is on, they're the best team in the country. When they are playing good football, they're better than Ohio State. So when they're good, they're really good. And when they're bad, they're still good enough to beat you if you're not paying attention. So that makes them dangerous in my eyes. It just does. And Alabama, knowing their luck, they'll get like North Florida in the first round. So anyway, what do you think about the Ohio State-Michigan game?
So I want to be very clear when I say this. You talk about corruption and all that kind of stuff in college football.
Correct.
I'm here to tell you that had Michigan won that game, you were going to see one of the ungodliest jumps in the history of the college football playoffs. They were going to jump from 15 to 10 in 1 week by beating Ohio State, and the committee was going to make sure that the Big Ten got 4 teams in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
And I want the whole world to hear me when I say, thank you, Ryan Day. Thank you, Ohio State. Because I've been saying it for 6 weeks. The Big Ten don't deserve to have 4 teams in the playoffs this year. They just don't. And by Ohio State beating Michigan, that ended any other team in the Big Ten having a shot other than Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. Thank you, Ohio State.
Let me also add, I was shocked. I picked Ohio State to win this game, and I was right. But it was the same deal. If Ohio State loses, they don't go to the Big Ten championship game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if Michigan wins, the Big Ten gets their 4th team in. So I saw the screw job coming. Everybody wins with the Michigan win. I think what happened was Ryan Day said, absolutely not. Because all he heard all offseason was, yeah, you won the Natty, but you didn't beat us.
Yep.
And that's a big time nasty rivalry, probably the biggest rivalry in the country. It's a nasty one, and they hate each other. I think Ryan Day said absolutely not. I'm going to win this game. I'm going to shut them up, and I'm going to move on. And I think that's what we saw today. I think Ryan Day was proving a point.
Very much so. Very much so proving a point.
Yeah, he was.
Because other than the first 2 drives where Michigan got 2 field goals, they couldn't do anything.
Nope.
And Ohio State was not calling the dogs off.
No, they never did.
That was personal.
So not only did they finish the season undefeated, which really did not benefit them because they could have had a bye, but what happened was they had to listen to that all off season. And also at the same time, they get to eliminate their rival from the playoffs.
Exactly.
I mean, he was what y'all don't understand, the intricacies behind college football. This is it. Ryan Day went out there and proved a point today. He sent a message to the whole college football world that he ain't fucking around. That's exactly what Ryan Day did today. And that's why I say Ohio State's the best team in the country.
And by doing that, he helped other good teams, the Vanderbilt. Say what you will about Texas and having 3 losses, but those teams that have done some things on the field that are playoff worthy got help by Michigan going down because the committee was 100% going to put Michigan in that spot.
For sure.
So I'm thankful.
I mean, what happened was so much could have happened today,
Yep.
but he eliminated his rival. He got that monkey off his back, and he knocked him out of the playoffs convincingly.
Yeah.
Ryan Day sent a message to the college football world.
Yep.
That's what happened. Ohio State's best team in the country. All right. Vanderbilt at Tennessee. I'm not going first on this one, obviously, Chris.
I don't know what to say. I really don't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to people. When there was 6 minutes left in the game and it was 38-24, I couldn't celebrate because I've been gut punched by that team so many times in the past. I couldn't celebrate. But I had tears in my eyes because it meant that much to me that we were doing it that way. You know, when you've been beaten down for so long by the same team, it means something to you when you beat them. Now, people can look at the score and say 45-24, oh, they whooped our ass.
Hi, Terry.
And to be honest, they did. What people don't see in that score is it could have been a whole lot worse. Because Tennessee got the opening kickoff. They went 3 and out. Vanderbilt drove the field right down their throat, scored. Tennessee gets the ball, and I don't remember if they scored on that. No, they didn't score on that possession. We made them punt again. We get the ball back. We drive it right down the field again. We're in the red zone. And for what Diego Pavia being Diego Pavia, sometimes he'll force the issue and he'll take risks that you don't have to. And he threw a pass that was intercepted at the 2-yard line. Tennessee goes down and scores, ties the game. He threw 2 interceptions. Tennessee scored on both of them the following possession. They took it down and scored. If he don't throw those 2 interceptions, that's possibly 10 to 14 more points on the scoreboard, and Tennessee not having the ball that they wouldn't have scored. So that could have been about a 60-7 ball game the way Vanderbilt's offense was cooking. But it ended up 45-24. Tennessee talked all that junk all week long. And it's a really bad look because if you remember, Diego Pavia was talking smack way back in the summer and said, we're going to run this state, and talked it all season long. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then Tennessee let them come into their house and push them around, and they did nothing to stop it. I'm thrilled. We have an opportunity to get into the college football playoffs. Had anybody told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have said, you're fucking crazy. Pardon my French. I had us going 8-4. I never envisioned this.
I agree. For me, though, the discussion here isn't the Vanderbilt win. We know Vanderbilt's a good team, and if you don't come out there with your A game, they're going to beat you. We've seen this all year long. Mm-hmm. But what we saw here is what Tennessee is. And Tennessee's lucky to be at 8-4. Don't get it twisted. There were some scary moments in there where this could have turned into a 4-8 season for Tennessee. Tennessee's program is on the decline. Even Vanderbilt, as good as they are, if you've got a viable team out there, you don't let them come into your house and beat you down in a rivalry game.
Not
Tennessee,
like that.
Tennessee has problems. Is the bigger story here. Tennessee's not close to prominence.
Yeah.
Tennessee's a bad football program. Credit to Chris for saying that before the season started. I didn't believe it. I really didn't. I was like, "You're crazy. Tennessee's going to be just fine." Well, Tennessee's a bad program. Lose to your rival like that at the end. You finish 8-4. You could have easily been 5-7. Let's just be honest. You had a couple lucky breaks your way. Is it time to start having the fire Heupel discussion?
Oh, it's alive and well on Twitter tonight.
Because if you're Tennessee, you think you're a blue blood. You're not a blue blood, but you think you're a blue blood, right? You are a historically very good program too. Like you just are. It's easy to recruit to Tennessee. Being down like this is unacceptable to a fan base like Tennessee. It's unacceptable. They should be on line with Oklahoma right now. And I agree with them. Tennessee should, with the resources and everything they have there. No reason Tennessee's fucking around like this.
Right.
It's a problem. I think this job was too big for Josh Heupel. I think he was a very good at Central Florida. I think if he would have taken a job and built up like Mississippi State or something before jumping to Tennessee, I think he had a chance. But like he came straight in, and you know he's not playing East Carolina week in, week out anymore. Now he's playing Alabama and Florida and Georgia and Vanderbilt and South Carolina and Ole Miss, and you never know who's going to be fucking good and when they're not. I mean, it's hard. It's the hardest place to coach. And he ain't getting the job done. Tennessee we should see Tennessee at least at 9-3 talking like Texas. Hey, like we had enough quality wins. We at least need to be in this discussion because Texas is right. They need to be in that discussion. Should they get a spot? Probably not. But what they've done over the course of the year is impressive. Nobody else has done it. Only Texas. You know what I mean? Which means Texas also had the hardest schedule in the nation. So that's where Texas has their thoughts like, hey, we belong. Look at at least listen to what we're saying. But Tennessee is not even close. But that Tennessee should be on line with a program like Texas. They just should.
Yeah.
They got their ass beat by Vanderbilt at home in their biggest rivalry game in front of 103,000 fans. They are pissed.
Halfway through the third quarter, that had dwindled to about 20,000. That's how bad of a beatdown it was in the second half.
Well, it's time.
They got to do some serious soul searching.
Correct. So now we come to the bottom game on the graphic. I'm trying to just keep up with this at commercial right now into the third quarter. South Carolina and Clemson. So what you saw here today, Clemson is at 7 wins now because of the schedule they played.
Yeah.
Clemson beat a bunch of nobody. South Carolina went toe-to-toe with all the Giants, and South Carolina was at home. I thought South Carolina would win this game 17-14. That's how I saw this going in my head. A close win by field goal at home. What happened was South Carolina got 2 flash in the pan plays for touchdowns, big throws by Lenore Seller, which is Beamer's famous for, big plays. The problem is if you don't have consistency, it doesn't fucking matter. So even though South Carolina put up 14 points on 2 plays, by the way, 2 plays, both over 58. One was 58 yards, one was 72 yards. That's what the 2 touchdowns were, both in the first quarter. I'm getting to a point here. Other than that, what you saw was an utter dominance, offense, defense, and special teams by Clemson. South Carolina got lucky and got 2 big touchdown throws. Otherwise, Clemson wins this game probably 35-3. That's what I saw. I saw just a better program. I saw Lenore Sellers quit in the first quarter. I saw Dylan Stewart quit. I saw Nicholas Harbor quit. These three are hitting the portal 100% January 2nd. These are going to be three big names on the market. And they'll go to Georgia, Alabama, places like that, I'm sure. And when that happens, if you're a serious football program, if you are a serious football program and you spend a lot of money on those three young men, just to watch them walk away at the season's end, and you're a serious football program, you cannot retain the head coach after this season. Preseason went 11, finished 4-8. A loss at home to a rival where you just got bullied around the field on both sides of the ball. Three best players that people, I mean, like the alumnus or whatever, spent all this money on, this nail money on, because that the defense and special teams been solid all year. South Carolina's offense is putrid. South Carolina now averages, and their season's over, by the way. South Carolina averaged in the second half of games this entire season 1.3 points. They're not even averaging 2 points a half in the second half in any game this year. Like, that's the average, not even 2 points. That's a problem. That's a conditioning problem. That's a depth problem. That's what that is. So that's never been done before in the history of college football until this year. Never been done. The record was like 3.8 points a half per second half. South Carolina 1.3.
Hard to stomach, ain't it?
Terrible depth. Just awful depth, and it showed all year long. You cannot retain Shane Beamer at this point. And I'm not calling for his job because that's not what I do, but I am certainly entitled to my opinion. He's not the guy. And everybody wants to argue with me on Facebook and you know, like on my page, and they're like, oh, Beamer has one bad year and you're off the Beamer train. I'm like, go back 2 years ago on my podcast, 2 years ago when South Carolina went 8-5 and then 9-3. Both years when South Carolina had these highs on Shane Beamer and programs on the rise and all that. One guy said that this guy's a fraud, and that's me. You can go back 2 years. Chris can attest here. This is nothing new for me. Like, I saw this coming. Like, I know what this guy is. Like, this surprised everybody but me is what happened this year. He ain't the guy. To jump from a graduate assistant, not even offensive defensive coordinator, to a prominent job means you were the youngest, biggest, shiniest toy out there. And you went to South Carolina to build a program in the middle of the SEC recruiting ground. Oh, by the way, a team that's went to 4 out of the last 9 national championships also recruits your state. That's what it is to be at South Carolina. People don't understand. Clemson has went to 4 natties in the last 9 years, won 2 of them. We're recruiting against them in state. Also Georgia, also Florida. Like, it is the hardest place to recruit in America. It takes a big time person to win at South Carolina. We know that. This is not shocking to anybody that Steve Spurrier was the only one to be able to do it. But at the end of the day, people, I know you love Shane. I like him too. I like real likable guy. He really is. I love the things he says and all that. That's cool. I like it. I like the vibe and all that. Point is, this is a results-driven business. And you've been given a $20 million a year nail toy with all the resources, top 5 facilities in the entire country South Carolina has, and this is the product you produce. Maybe the job was too big for him. And that's not a knock. I know the job would be too big for me. I know I couldn't do it, but still,
so
need somebody else.
So on the NIL situation at South Carolina, you notice they spent it on Dylan Stewart. Nick Harbor, Lenore Sellers. I think not Faison Brandon, but Rasul Faison got some NIL too. Here's the problem. Games are won in the trenches. If you're not spending some NIL on your offensive line, you got a problem. South Carolina didn't do that, knowing that they lost 4 starters off their offensive line last year. So you go into the season with a question mark. Everybody thought you had it figured out. What happened was they didn't have it figured out. The offensive line was among the bottom 3 in the SEC, if we're being honest. And unfortunately, today, you ran into a team that was expected to look like they did today all season. Of course, they had injuries and had problems along the way, and they didn't perform the way they were supposed to. But today you got a glimpse of what Clemson was expected to be.
So basically, so you said South Carolina had to be in the top 3 of the SEC in offensive line efficiency. I'm assuming you mean
bottom 3 in the offensive line.
Bottom 3. You said bottom 3 in the SEC or bottom 3 total?
Bottom 3 in the SEC.
No, so they are dead last total. They have the worst offensive line efficiency rating in college football.
See, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah,
I just figured bottom 3 in the SEC.
No, dead last in all of college football. Offense is dead last in all of college football. Outside the Coastal Carolina game, we never crossed 355 total yards in a game. That's a problem.
Yeah, you got to fix the offensive line. You got to start spreading that NIL around and not just focusing on big-time playmakers. You got to focus some on the offensive and defensive lines.
And I'm sure they will. They'll right the ship, whether it's with Beamer or not. You know, I wish I had the luck with South Carolina. I really do.
Right.
I've loved them for so long that I just wish them well. You know, I hope they do good.
Right.
You know, that's how I feel. But like now that I've talked about South Carolina, I want to talk about Clemson. You know, I just told you from a personal point how it felt to lose this game today. All right. From a professional point, what I saw today was Dabo Swinney sending a message. He got screwed against Duke. Like, I know Chris disagrees, but that's not a pass interference 10 out of 10 times. Not when the offensive, not when the wide receiver reaches out and grabs him. They're running to the same place. He grabbed him. There's no doubt. Like, I saw the video 100 times. He reaches out, grabs him, and pulls him toward him. They call a pass interference that was not a pass interference. All right. So now you're looking at Clemson coming in this game 7-4. And then you had another couple games. Like if Clemson played LSU right now, I think Clemson would win that game.
Yeah.
So what you saw was just a lot of bad calls officiating for Clemson this year, but mostly turnovers. Clemson was like, I think Clemson was number 1 in the ACC in turnovers this year, which would easily translate your record down to 7-5 pretty quickly, turning the ball over like that. But what we saw in this game was South Carolina, depth is a problem, but South Carolina starters can run with anyone, and everybody knew that, and that's what we thought we were going to see, like how we started Texas A&M game, Alabama, how we played them. We close games, like we really were out there, and the problem with that was Dabo Swinney's a great coach, so he wanted to send a message. So he studied film, and he saw what South Carolina could and couldn't do. And he just threw heat at it, like overwhelmed. I mean, he saw what he had to do, and he did it efficiently. That's what we're used to seeing Dabo do to every team he plays. It just didn't work out this year. Dabo has been linked to Florida. There's a lot of people saying that Dabo's interviewing at Florida, but nobody's asked Dabo about his status. So if the media hasn't picked up on it like that, then it's probably not true. Would be my guess. Are you on mute?
No, I'm just looking at the scoreboard real quick, getting an update.
Okay.
Couple scores I'm watching. The ACC is going to be a mess.
So Auburn just got a touchdown. It's tied 20-20.
So in the ACC, you're going to have 5 teams tie for second place.
SMU has 12 minutes to go.
Yeah. SMU can still get into the championship. All they got to do is win, and they're in the championship. But if they don't win, you're going to have 5 teams tie for second place. And then it's a series of tiebreakers. But one thing we do know for sure is Miami cannot get into the ACC championship because Duke won today. And in order for them to get in, if Duke won, they had to have Virginia lose and North Carolina State win. Well, North Carolina State's winning, but Virginia did not lose. Thus, Miami is eliminated from the tiebreaker, which is crazy. So, interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah, for sure. And USC putting the beat down on UCLA. And a lot of people aren't going to like it, but this is how I see it going down.
Mm-hmm.
I see 4 SEC teams getting in. I see 3 Big Ten teams. I see 2 ACC teams. That's what I think. I think so. I think what's going to happen here is Big Ten doesn't deserve more than 3, and everybody knows it. Well, the committee is doing their best to keep the Big Ten and the SEC happy because they've already talked about branching off and doing their own thing with their schools. And so they're not going to allow the SEC to have 5. I think that's what we're going to see. And I think the SEC deserves 5, but I don't think you're going to see it. I really don't. I think they're going to stop it at 4 to appease the Big Ten. I think they're going to throw Miami in there because they can. They're going to be, well, Miami beat Notre Dame, and they're going to push that narrative. I see that happening. I just do. I see it happening. The committee pretty much did it last year. Pretty much every year the committee does it. If a name like Notre Dame or Miami sniffs can be moneymaker, they seem to find their way in. Certainly.
I think there's too much argument against a team like Miami because if you're not even in your conference championship game, how can you jump over a team that was? And it's a good possibility that whoever comes out of the ACC championship game is going to be left out if they lose because they're going to have 3 losses.
Yeah, the loser of the ACC championship's not getting in. If they pick 2 ACC teams, it will be the winner and it will be Miami. That's what they'll do if that's the route they go. The loser of the ACC championship game's out. Same thing with the Big 12. No different. I don't care what you say.
So if BYU loses, do you think they're really out? Because both of their losses will be to the number 4 team in the country. Both of them.
Yeah. I think you do. I think you have to leave them out. I know it was a good season, but could BYU beat Miami? I don't think so. Could BYU beat Vanderbilt? I don't think so. And as a committee, you have to think like that. Like it's your, like you have to do your homework. That's what this is for. I don't think BYU, as good as they are, the Big 12 is super ass. ACC is better than the Big 12. And if you don't think so, you don't know football. We've not seen BYU play anybody but Utah and Texas Tech, and they split those games 1-1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this talk of Utah getting into the playoffs is crazy talk. Utah's not sniffing the playoffs. That's not how this is going to work. But what you will see is BYU left out if they lose to Texas Tech.
Okay.
The only chance the Big 12 has of getting 2 in is BYU beating Texas Tech. That is it. That is the only way, the only scenario the Big 12 gets 2 in.
I respect that. So let's talk about G5 a little bit. If you remember, I had before the season started, I said, keep your eye on Navy versus South Florida, because I thought that would have an impact on who would get the G5 spot. I thought it would be one of those two teams. What we've seen is North Texas have a miracle season under Eric Morris and their freshman quarterback walk-on Drew Mastermaker. Well, now you have North Texas playing Navy in the American Conference Championship. Navy's still in the mix. Yes, they have 2 losses, but they're still in the mix. But you also have James Madison sitting over here at 11-1, playing for the Sun Belt Conference Championship. So my question to you, and I posed this earlier today. Let's say Navy does the unthinkable and they beat North Texas. They're the American Conference champion. And then James Madison somehow goes out and loses in the Sun Belt. Not crazy talk. It could happen. I don't expect it to. But what if it does? Guess who's going to the playoffs?
So who is in the American Conference Championship game?
North Texas and Navy.
They're the 2 in the championship game. They announced it.
They have to be. They're both 7-1 in conference play.
So is Tulane, though.
No, they've got 2 losses.
No, Tulane's 7-1 in conference. I'm looking at it right now. Tulane's 10-2 and 7-1 in the conference. That's what I thought.
I thought it was. I thought they had 2 losses.
Nope. I mean, they got 2 losses total, but only 1 in conference.
Navy might be out. I thought Tulane had 2 losses in conference.
I mean, the season's over. They should know who's in it. I'm trying to look it up right now, but it's 2 of those 3. We know that because they're the 3 7-1s. Mm-hmm. On the standings, it shows Tulane in second place. So I'm just trying to.
Because they got 10 wins and Navy's only got 9 because their last game is in 2 weeks.
It's Tulane and North Texas.
Well,
I'm gonna be. That's what I thought before I said this. I'm gonna be clear. The winner of this game
Tulane is in.
Yeah, the winner of this game gets the G5 spot. Period. North Texas and Tulane.
They'll be the higher ranked of the G5 conference champions.
Yes.
Do you feel bad for James Madison in that scenario, though? Even if they win the Sun Belt, knowing that you're not going to get in with a 12-1 record?
I mean, do I feel bad for them? The answer is no. Because Tulane earned it. Like, Tulane's out there. Tulane ducked nobody. Tulane took on Ole Miss man-to-man. Like, Tulane took on all comers.
Yeah.
Tulane made it as tough on themselves as possible. They didn't shy away. And if they come out beat North Texas in this game, they've proven, because it's down to those 3. James Madison, North Texas, and Tulane. We all know that that's the 3 it's down to. Well, 2 of them get to go head-to-head. So whoever wins this game is moving on. And that sucks for James Madison. I give you that. But come on, man. Could you have a better play-in than what we're seeing right now? Let's be completely honest.
I love that comment right there. No, if North Texas beats Tulane, they deserve to be in over James Madison. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I said whoever wins this game deserves to be in over James Madison. Either one of them. Because if North Texas takes out Tulane, which is like Tulane's been in the rankings pretty much all year. The only G5 school to do that all year long. You know what I mean? Like that's a, hey, we prove we belong. And if Tulane beats down North Texas, who's been beating down other teams, Tulane sends a message. The winner of this game is going to the playoffs. This is literally a play-in game right here. Tell me this isn't playoff football, the American Athletic Conference. And that's why putting the G5 spot was the right deal. That's why I love it, because we get to see it unfold, the two best teams in our faces, and I'm here for it, Chris.
Yeah, and just like Navy, here they are sitting 9-2. They don't get to play in it, but they did factor into the G5 playoff spot. I thought they'd have a chance to do that with Blake Horvath. They just come up a little bit short right there.
They did.
Had they won their game against North Texas, they'd be in there.
I agree. They had, that's what I'm saying. So what we saw was literal playoff games unfolding all year long
Every
in the G5.
week. Yes, every week.
In the
and
SEC,
who would have thought that?
right. In the SEC and Big 10 and ACC and Big 12, you're playing like, if you win the games, you're good. But if you're a G5 school trying to get that one spot, you've got to win, and you've got to win in style. Like, you have to show them that you're worth to go there. And North Texas and Tulane, in my opinion, no disrespect to James Madison, are the best two teams out of those three anyway. So now we get to see them two, in my opinion, the top two G5 schools after the season's over, which was all 12 games, go head-to-head for a play-in for the playoffs. I'm here for it. It
Right.
happened, and I'm here for it.
And here's the thing. A lot of people don't like that G5 gets a spot in the playoffs. But my take, you've heard my take all along. If you're not going to include the G5, then the Power Four shouldn't be playing them. You have to give them a spot. And you have to limit it. I'm fine with them limiting to one team, because they're playing each other all year long, and let the best team come out of that bracket. Can they win a game? I think Tulane stands a better chance of winning a game in the playoffs. But who knows? We got a quarterback down here that went to tryouts for walk-ons and earned the starting job and set the college football world on fire with the way he's played. So who knows if North Texas can win or not? I don't know if they can, but it's going to be fun to watch them try.
It is. So before we go, I've got something I've got to go do. I will say Tulane has been the best G5 school all year long. I think Tulane could have held their own in the Big 12 and maybe even the ACC this year, to be completely honest with you, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah, I agree. G5 definitely deserves a spot. I think Tulane might have won 9-10 games in the Big 12 and ACC this year. I think they're that good, which is why you have to include the G5, because Wake Forest gets a shot. You know what I mean? Northwestern gets a shot. Duke gets a shot. Kansas gets a shot. Why not Tulane?
So what if Tulane wins this? What does that do with John Summerall and the rumors about him being affiliated with Auburn and Florida?
I think they'll wait till the season's over. Not all people are dealing with people like Lane Kiffin. Most schools have decorum. Penn State fired James Franklin. That's why I consider it decorum. You didn't want him. We'll take him. No worries. It wasn't one of those deals behind the scene, none of this shady stuff. And that's how most people handle business. Schools are businesses, and they understand. They reach out as a courtesy. Hey, we're going to take this guy or this female coach here. We're going to do that. We've offered them a better deal. And they wait till the season's over and everybody's cordial and we get to move on with decorum. And that's the way it should be. Mm-hmm. Well, Lane Kiffin out there flying planes everywhere, putting feelers out everywhere. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he brought this on himself. Like, if he wanted to keep it quiet, what happened was it got out there, and Ole Miss had to go out there and be like, hold up, what's going on here? Put him on notice. Told him they needed a decision by the Egg Bowl. And by the way, about an hour and a half ago, he left the Ole Miss's AD's office, and an imminent announcement is to be made.
Rondo brings up Eric Morris, the head coach at North Texas. I don't think Eric Morris did anything wrong there. I really don't. He was offered a job. They do have better resources at Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, if you want to move up, you have to go to a Power 4 team. Why not start with the worst Power 4 team out there? Oregon State or Oklahoma State.
Right.
That's
Know
a
what to build
good
it up.
that's a good landing spot for him. And credit to North Texas for letting him finish out the season despite agreeing to that job. That's a credit to North Texas for letting him do that. He's earned that right. So, it'll be
Man,
interesting.
it's good. It's going to be fun. I just yeah, we're about to wrap it up. I just want to see what this flag is real quick. So Auburn stopped Alabama on 4th and 7. Roughing the passer. Wow. Wow. Automatic first down, personal foul. And they stopped him on 4th. Let me see.
Okay.
They're showing the replay. Oh yeah.
See, they got Tennessee for roughing the passer.
He grabbed his knee and twisted it.
And this play, it was, Diego Pavia threw the ball, and the guy took about a step and a half and hit him. Wow. I get it's hard to stop when you're coming in on a quarterback like that. But if you got a step and a half, you got to take a dive or something to make sure you miss him, and he didn't. And they called it on Tennessee, gave us a first down inside the 5.
Oh! Touchdown Alabama, man. Ty Simpson is that fucking dude. Like, he had one bad game where he was, flag. Oh, wow. Wow.
Are they going to call holding?
Holding against Alabama.
How did I know that and not even have it on my screen?
Wow.
Remember you said SMU still has 12 minutes left and they were down 10?
Yeah.
There is now 7:59 left in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's targeting.
And SMU is now down by 3.
By 3 scores?
By 3 points. 31-28.
Who's got the ball?
They just kicked the extra point. So SMU will be kicking off. They've got themselves back into it.
Wow. So they missed a targeting on Auburn. He targeted the quarterback, but they did let the hold go. Took a touchdown away from Alabama all the way back out to the 15-yard line.
Jeez.
5 minutes to go, man. The Iron Bowl is one of my favorite games. I don't have a dog in this fight, but I've loved the Iron Bowl ever since I was a kid. One of the games you could always watch every year. A lot of people are so spoiled by the ESPN networks and all that, man. You didn't get a lot of games. You may get 3 games a week at different times. Oh! Where are they going to mark him out? What a catch, Chris. I mean, I think he's going to be 1.5 yards short. It depends on what they mark him because he drug him backwards. But what a catch. That was an incredible catch. I don't know who that was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Perfect throw, too. Anyway, so what this season's over. The regular season is over. Announced it after the Temple game. The problem
I get that.
They should. I was just talking about the quorum. The problem is there's so much media talk out there, and when somebody hears a secret, if they can name drop it first, it can make their career.
Speaking of which,
nobody can keep a secret.
And I'm going to say it, he's a reputable reporter. I think most football fans in America know who he is. Trey Schapp covers Arkansas football. let a cat out of the bag this week, and it may have cost them the head coach that they had lined up, because it was absolutely not supposed to get out, and he ran with it anyway.
Well,
colossal screw up.
To the point I was just saying, to be honest with you, that's just the way it is. That's how it is these days. It's been that way for a while. If somebody can name drop something first and make his career, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm in the know. I broke this. You know what I mean? Yeah. But fun doing a recap show. I've got to roll. I got something I got to do. We'll see you next time, Chris.
All right. Sounds good.